Hi and welcome to the evening of day 73. I started at the Church of the Mountain Hiker Center. They turned their basement into like a hiker shelter. Like there's a bunk room and a little living room. There's a shower and a bathroom. It's all donation based, and it was really pleasant. I was thinking about taking today and just resting there, but even though it was a pleasant place to stay, it was kind of dark and a little dingy, and you could feel the humidity in the room. So it wasn't a great place to rest for a day. But I will say that the Delaware Water River Gap, or Delaware Water, Pennsylvania, was a nice town. They had a nice little bakery. They had this amazing double cookies with like frosting in the middle. I had French toast this morning. They had a nice pizza place with massive subs for $10. I was able to get laundry done for the first time since New York, the beginning of New York. So overall, it was a really nice town. There wasn't enough for me to stay for a full day. I cleaned up a little bit at the hostel. I vacuumed a little bit, and just because it was and organized their bookshelves, just because it was a little dirty. So I went from there and I walked to the Smith shelter, which is about 20 miles away. I can't think of the full name of the shelter. I apologize. I'm going to actually stand up and walk so I can try to see if I can figure out the name of the shelter. It was a 20-mile day. It is the Leroy A. Smith shelter. Okay. My apologies for that. And they said that Pennsylvania was going to have these really rocky, sharp, or really sharp rocks. And they weren't kidding. There was some bouldering, which I expected, but then later on, it got really bad. I mean, like the amount of rock, I thought Maine was bad, but this is something else. It's just, and it jabs up, so there's no way to get around it. Luckily, I have both my poles, so that really helps. But it was a really rough day. It was a really tough 20 miles. And the other thing is, there's not a lot of water, for some reason, in Pennsylvania. So like there was like a 10 or 12 mile gap between water. I was able to make it. Tomorrow is going to be just as bad. There are some springs here at the shelter, so I'm hoping that I'll have enough water. If I can carry 2 liters with me tomorrow, I should be okay. But I am nervous about it. Between that and the rocks, it's been really tough. I'm hoping to get another 70 miles to the Rock and Soul hostel, so I can take a 0 day there. So if I can do like a 19-mile day tomorrow to the next shelter, or and then that should set me up, so 3 or 4 days. I do have to stop in the next town because I have a package, so hopefully I'll get there in time, and that way I can get more water. So, but that's about it. So. Day 73, 20 miles. And I crossed mile 900. So thank you, and have a nice day.